My name is Stanley Moss. I write poetry. I'm a little different from other fellows, and I'm here with my dear poet friend, Greg Miller,
I'm the voice who may occasionally appear on the side.
who may occasionally appear on the side. I want to say something useful. People often try to write a poem when they have something to say. And I write most of my poems these days about why I said something I don't understand. And in the course of the poem, if it works, I understand a little something about why I said something. So, Greg, if you want to ask me something, I guarantee you I'll tell you the dangerous truth.
More than one person has referred to you as a modern psalmist, writing psalms for our time. And when I read that, I think of you as King David dancing naked on an altar.
Right. Well, I come from I'm looking for a word. I'm 98 and I sometimes have to look for words a long time. But I come from a family that didn't believe in God. And yet it was Jewish. And there are two sides of my family. One has 14 doctors. One has one side of the family. And one side has a suicide. Some guy got the electric chair. Most were communists, except my father. And I was a communist quite a while ago. Right. And I burned, just for good luck, all the names of the cultural division of the Communist Party. So I know who was and who wasn't. And I'm as anti-Putin as anyone can be, right? I believe in freedom for everyone. I'm as anti-racist as anyone can be, I believe. I'm a pro homosexual guy because there are so many homosexuals I loved, but not in bed.
Thinking about people you've loved, how important have friendships with poets been for you as a writer, with people like Auden, for example, or Rutke, or Stanley Kunitz even?
My friendships with poets include Rutke, and don't forget Dylan Thomas.
Of course.
And Stanley Kunitz. And don't forget Yehuda Amichai. And there was Sidney Graham. And Willis Barnstone, and I don't. I just said and. if I could give a little advice to a class full of poets, never have it write an extra syllable or extra word in a poem, right?
And as an editor, you have an excellent eye for that.
As an editor, I have an eye for that, plus a better word that should be put in place than the one that's there. I edit various books of poets. I edit with love various books of poets who I once published and I no longer publish. They've gone to other publishers. I've only published 600 books. And
you do, I can say from experience, edit with love and helpfully. Is that one of the reasons you've run Sheep Meadow Press for so many years?
The reason I started Sheep Meadow Press, there are complicated reasons. One, I worked for New Directions. I got on very well with Jay Loughlin, but one day I said, I want to get the hell out of this office because I want to write a poem. But I had to make a living. And I sold the poems. I got $158, and I thought I'd live off of poetry. How much I was mistaken. And the problem was I married two ladies. One had a schizophrenic son, and I had to pay for his hospitalization. So I wrote at most 3 days a week because I had to pay high, very high hospital bills. What the F would I have written if I could have written 7 times a day? Well, of course, I also was in the Navy, and I sleep very little. At a poetry launch with Hans Magnus Enzensberger, who was in German uniform when I was in American uniform, at a festival in Italy, where they had a lot of noise in the streets. And I said, we had breakfast together, and I said, did the noise wake you up? And Magnus said, oh, I can sleep through anything, any noise. It was the bombing, of course. Right. And then I realized I was in the Navy 4 hours on and 4 hours off, and I don't sleep more than 4 hours. So when we sleep, we're still at war, and we're very close friends when he was alive. And I've got a pretty good poem about him when he was in a different condition.
I think we should close this short introduction. Anything you want to say that you haven't said as an introduction to Goddamn Poems?
I'm trying to think of my motto. The angels the angels. Oh, I keep saying angel, and I don't believe in God, but right now, at this moment, I think I believe in angels. It's something to write about.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Stanley.
You're welcome.